The Xbox business is back in the spotlight. Outer Worlds 2 reviews have dropped, as well as the performance modes that you're going to be able to play the game in. Game releases, big games coming over to the Switch 2 that were previously on Xbox and PlayStation. Battlefield 6 and Call of Duty both get their roadmap. So lots to go over today. But before we do, if you enjoy daily gaming news and content, hit the subscribe, share, like all that stuff. For now, let's get into the news. So the month or week or couple of weeks, whatever, for Xbox negative news is not slowing down whatsoever. Another major story did drop yesterday, and that has to do with the Xbox business specifically and the margins that Amy Hood is pushing onto the Xbox division. So this is a lot of people talking again. It's another signal for people that it is the death of Xbox. You're seeing Xbox is dead again, Xbox canceled. All of these things are coming out as of right now from the pundits in the video game ministry. But this one here is a very interesting story because it has to do with the overall business of Xbox and some unrealistic goals that are seemingly being set for the Xbox division. And that has to do with 30% profit margins, which are well above the industry standard. Bloomberg came out with a very large report from anonymous sources. They're saying that have information about how the Microsoft and the Xbox business does run. And they say here that they have been hit with high profit margins, with the goal for the gaming division to hit the profit margin of 30%, which is a number well above the industry standard. I believe the industry standard is somewhere between, they say, you're 17 and 22%. So 30% is absolutely above that. This comes via Bloomberg, Jason Schreier, and Dina Bass, who say that Microsoft's chief financial officer, Amy Hood, has reportedly set a target to achieve 30% accountability margins, which in Microsoft and Xbox is just their profit margins, but that has been set across the entire company, and Xbox is now included in these accountability margins. So that probably all has to do with Xbox now being a major player with the amount of money that they do bring in on a quarterly basis. Whenever they're talking about the quarterly reports now, Xbox is a massive part of Microsoft, and obviously the Activision Blizzard acquisition bolstered them as being something that is part of the big boys now at the overall Microsoft company. And what is crazy though is you look back in 2023, Microsoft reported a mere 12% margin for its gaming division, and the S&P Global Market Intelligence estimates revealing that the industry on average has not gone past 22% for at least that since 2018. Now, why this obviously has a lot of people talking is simply because of the fact of all of the news that has been coming out at Xbox recently, with games like Perfect Dark being canceled, games like Everwild being canceled. Then you have the rise in Xbox Game Pass pricing, and people are wondering what is going on here. Why are these changes all coming down at once? Well, it does seem like it is because of the Microsoft mandated 30% margin. Now, there's a lot of takes instantly about what this does mean. Is this the downfall of Xbox? Are they becoming more just completely Microsoft, corporatized, all of those things? These are all the stuff that people are going to be talking about now for a while. But of course, nobody actually knows what is truly going on behind the closed doors. There are people with sources, there's rumors, and now everyone is saying Amy Hood is the major villain. It was Phil Spencer last week. This week it is Amy Hood. They do want to make Xbox, I guess, more profitable across the board. My biggest fear out of all of this isn't that Xbox is going away or dying, or that it's going to become dead, or that it isn't going to be a profitable business. I mean, we're going to have their financial reports on the 29th, and I'm sure we're going to see Xbox making a good amount of money and still being very successful. So I don't think Xbox is going anywhere anytime soon. My biggest fear about all of this is that they're following along the lines as basically the entire industry. Less risk and only really working on the games that are guaranteed to make them those margins and make them that money, and basically rinse and repeating that. I mean, you just take a look at what PlayStation has done this entire generation. They've taken almost zero risks. The one risk they did take with Concord, they had to kill it off within 6 days and lose $400 million or whatever the amount was for that game. They're not going to take any more risks themselves either, but Xbox was that publisher that they were greenlighting games. We saw South of Midnight come out. We've seen Key Keeper come out, two just beautifully artistic games. And my biggest fear, if they are trying to hit these higher margins, will they continue to greenlight those games? There's so many different things, though. You could look at other ways that they're going to try to cut costs so they could still greenlight some of those titles. Maybe they still value those titles. All of this is yet to be foreseen at this point, but that is the major story right now. You've seen a lot of people get very upset again. I wonder what next week's story is going to be. I'm guessing it's going to be something with Halo that does get announced today and it being on the PlayStation 5. So it's on and on and on with the bad press, the bad news towards the Xbox brand. And at what point does this have a major hit on the company itself and on the brand itself? When does it move past just the online conjecture? That's another question that will be interesting to follow and see. But I think there's still lots more that has to be discovered about this 30% profit margin to really come out with a concrete decision as to whether this is going to kill Xbox or not, or what this means for the future. And maybe we will get some more insight overall going forward. Now, besides that negative news, they put out another game that's getting great reviews, and that is The Outer Worlds 2. Right now, The Outer Worlds 2 is sitting around an 85 on Metacritic for the Xbox and PlayStation, and then a 79 on OpenCritic, but it's getting plenty of 9s and plenty of 8s across the board. A lot of people are saying this is a big improvement over the first game, especially in the gameplay department. There's still parts of it that if you didn't like the first one, you may not 100% like this one as well. So that is something to keep in mind. I was a big fan of the first Outer Worlds, so I'm very much looking forward to it, especially if the gameplay mechanics themselves have greatly improved. And we did see that within the gameplay trailers. That was one of my biggest gripes, honestly, with the first Outer Worlds was I found it a little bit clunky, but now they've improved upon that. I think I'm going to really, really enjoy this one. And if you're wondering how this game performs on the Xbox console itself, here's what you're looking at. You're going to have 3 modes. So it's great that they put 3 modes in here. Quality mode, 30 FPS dynamic resolution with the top end at 1600p, upscaling to 4K. Balance mode at 40 FPS dynamic resolution, top end 1440p, upscaling to 4K. And then performance mode, 60 FPS dynamic resolution, top end 1280p, upscales to 1800p. So you're going to be able to play this in many different modes. I feel like first person shooter, you're going to most people will probably still end up playing it on the performance 60 FPS mode, but game looks beautiful. So I will check it out in every single mode and just kind of see how it looks when it is hitting that 4K, how beautiful the colors are and how beautiful the atmosphere is. So that is the other side. If you think about this year, it's a very odd year when it comes, because we're getting all of these news about the negative stuff over the last couple of weeks. But if you really sit back and take a look at 2025, 2024 was great too, but 2025, then going into 2026, Xbox, from the output perspective, from the games that they are putting out, it does now seem like they are operating on all cylinders. Like they are putting out games consistently, all getting decent reviews. We haven't really seen one terrible game from Xbox here. We didn't see a Redfall. All the games have been good. So it's an odd place right now when you look at the way people are talking about the Xbox brand, but then what is actually occurring on the output side of things for gamers to play. Xbox is by far and away putting out more games, and some great games comparatively to PlayStation right now. If you're just doing that direct comparison, PlayStation puts out great games, but their output is so tiny right now. You wonder if they'll be catching up anytime soon going forward into 2026. I think PlayStation will have a big 2026. Now, the Nintendo Switch 2 is the other major console out there, and the Switch 2, I think, has actually been very good, especially within its first year since it did launch in June. I know there's a lot of people that talked crap about the launch lineup, but if you do really sit back and think about it, you have Mario Kart World, you have Donkey Kong Bonanza, you're getting Metroid Prime 4, all within half of the year. For the first year, I think is very solid. But on top of that, they're getting a bunch of third-party games that were previously on Xbox and the PS5, and the games are performing very well. You had Star Wars Outlaws that is doing very good. Cyberpunk 2077 that is actually functioning very well. And all this can be played in handheld form. So I like my Nintendo Switch 2. I think it is a great console so far. We're getting another one here. And I'm very excited to see how this game looks and feels on the Nintendo Switch 2, because I think this is a beautiful game on the current consoles and on PC. And that is Assassin's Creed Shadows. Officially, announced here for December for the Nintendo Switch 2. They put out a trailer, and the Switch 2 version of the game is going to cost $60. It is in both physical as a game key card and then the digital editions, and it will be releasing on December 2nd. So if you have a Nintendo Switch 2 and you're wondering how this game is going to play and stuff, you'll be able to pick that one up there on December 2nd. We also had Fallout Day, and Fallout Day was not great, but we did get one announcement that is relatively interesting here, and that is Fallout 4 is getting now another edition of it that has been built for the current gen consoles, not just upscaling, not just having the resolution increase and everything from the backwards compatibility, actually built here for the Series X and the PlayStation 5, and also for the Nintendo Switch 2, which that one will be coming out in 2026, but the Xbox and PlayStation versions are coming out here on November 10th. And this one is called Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition. They put out a new trailer for the game itself. And basically what this will have is all the DLCs and expansions released for the game in the years that followed the launch. They're getting all of these things here from Vault Tech Workshop to Nuka World and Contraptions Workshop. And then they say more than 150 creations will be added to Fallout 4 via the Anniversary Edition. And they've also revealed that the game will feature unreleased items. Now, they don't say the resolutions or FPS and stuff, but I'm assuming they're going to be targeting that 60 FPS in 4K for this game here on these current gen consoles. So that was pretty much the big thing here that was announced. There's also Fallout 76 content and stuff, and they talked about the show. So not a very exciting Fallout Day. I think people were hoping and crossing their fingers we would get something here for maybe a Fallout 3 remake or Fallout New Vegas, but none of that. So maybe that'll come at a different time, because we've already seen rumors that those games were in development. Now, we have roadmaps here to the two big FPSs this year, Call of Duty Black Ops 7 and Battlefield 6. Both of them, information has come in. We'll start off here with Battlefield 6, the Season 1 updates and the roadmap. They're adding new maps and more guns across the game. So they did put this out. You can see here starting October 28th, you're getting a new map, Blackwell Fields, then a bunch of gun content. Then November 18th, they're going to have Eastwood, and again, more gun content. And then December 9th, what they're calling it the Winter Offensive, the Ice Lock Empire State map, which that one looks like it would be pretty cool. And then you're getting a couple of things here, like an ice climbing map. So that is kind of the first few months here of Battlefield 6 that they are bringing over. When it comes to Call of Duty Black Ops 7, Season 1 roadmap has also been revealed, and the game isn't even out yet. The content for Black Ops 7, one of the things with this one, I think probably because they were able to utilize a lot of assets from Black Ops 6, and the development time from the ground up probably was not nearly as long or as big. There's tons of content in this game at launch. This is going to be massive, and they've already announced way more stuff here for Season 1. So just so much to play with in Black Ops 7. I think they're kind of pushing here to make sure they have tons of content, because they know Battlefield 6 is a major competitor this year. But they say here, this is the biggest Black Ops ever and wreak havoc across 30 plus maps. So playable at launch. You have tons here, 18 maps, 2 zombie experiences on November 14th when it does launch. Then you have Nuketown 2025 on November 20th. Then 7 more multiplayer maps from Season 1 and 3 zombie maps coming to Season 1. And then more will even be announced. So here are the stuff that is coming after they've given us that initial a ton of maps for Black Ops 7. I got to admit, there is tons here. I'm actually excited to play all of these when it does drop. Trying to learn all these maps will be a lot, but they're adding Nuketown 2025, Fate, Utopia, Odysseus, Standoff, Meltdown, and Ikai in Season 1. And then they say even more than that. And then for zombies, Astra, Malorum, Exit 115, and Zarya Cosmodrome. So Call of Duty Black Ops 7 is just absolutely stacked here in terms of content for 2025, and then they're going to continue obviously with more content going into 2026. It's going to be a big battle here between Black Ops 7 and Battlefield 6. I think it'll be very closer than I would have expected, because Battlefield 6 came out of the gate very hot with the 7 million copies. So we'll see how Call of Duty Black Ops 7 does do. It's all going to come down to the launch, how people enjoy it, and word of mouth. And obviously the other thing is that you're going to have people buying Call of Duty Black Ops 7 in droves, regardless of even if the game reviews bad. So it'll be close anyway. I'm going to be playing it. I can't wait to jump into it on November 14th. But that's it for me. I'm going to end the video there. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up. If you are new here, hit that subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.